Not that anyone cares, but nobody cares about crypto at this moment. Is that a bad sign or is that a very good sign? Let's find out what this means. Welcome everybody to the Fomo Factory. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on, and let's dive into the fact why nobody cares about crypto. Why nobody is viewing this channel. Why nobody is viewing any channel. Why nobody is searching for Bitcoin. What's going on? Why is there no interest? The halving has been done. Why is nobody here? First, Google Trends. Let's take this over the last 5 years to get a pretty realistic view of what we saw in the past and what we are seeing right now. We saw little interest for Bitcoin going up towards the halving. We had the halving and now the interest is going down again. Did we see something similar in the last cycle? Well, I mean, we were going up towards the halving right here, which was in May 2020. And then we went down again and nobody cared about crypto. Then we went a little up and we went down again. And that's kind of, in my opinion, the phase where we are right now. Halving has been done. People were looking forward to it. And as soon as they realize that the halving has no short-term effect, people get disappointed and they feel like, yeah, you know what? Even the halving is not doing it. Never mind. Never mind. Thank you, crypto, for letting me think that I was going to get rich overnight. It's usually not what happens. And then at a certain point, we will get into this raging bull market like we had over here, and the interest in crypto will rise pretty hard. We are far from that at the moment. If we take a look at the social interest and specifically the amount of YouTube viewers for crypto-related channels, you can see that this has been going down. That's the red line. While the Bitcoin price has been going up, people don't care about crypto. So what does this mean? Well, the people that are driving the crypto price up are not necessarily the big group of people that are also watching crypto videos. And that's understandable because I don't think that BlackRock is watching my shit. So this big pump right here might come from the BlackRocks, right? The whales, the institutions, the companies, the retail that was in crypto last cycle and feel like, yeah, I'm educated enough. I'm not watching this, but not from the new retail, not from your grandma, grandpa, neighbor, hairdresser, whatever, that feels like, hey, crypto, it's at a thing, let me take a look. And no, they are not here right now. And usually it's the retail that's driving the price up, or the price is going up and that attracts the retail. It's chicken and egg story basically. But you can see that whenever retail is really there, that's usually correlated with a pretty parabolic price. We are not seeing any one of those right now. We have seen a healthy market, but not parabolic. And the retail is definitely not coming in. Matter of fact, it's only slowing down. If we take a look at the Fear and Greed Index, currently sitting at 66, which was quite higher. It was sitting at around 81 at the top, basically 81 on the Fear and Greed Index, which is pretty high because usually when we saw those levels, that was at the top of a bull market or in the run-up for the bull market. Here the Fear and Greed Index was sitting at 95, which was in 2019, and that was like far from the high. So it's good. It needs to reset right now, let it come down, and then let people step in again and then bring the Fear and Greed Index up whenever the prices are high as well. As you can see, like I said, it's now 66. If we delete everything except for where we are right now, then you can see that, yeah, we were sitting at 66 at the top of the last bull market, basically, but we were also sitting at the same levels in November 2020 when Bitcoin was at 13K, or February 2020 when we were sitting at 10K, or even in February 2019 when Bitcoin was sitting at 4K, right? So when it comes to that, we have a lot of room to grow because the Fear and Greed Index is at the moment not so high. And most of the times when it was this relative low, Bitcoin had a pretty big surge after that. And if we go back to the YouTube views, same thing. We are currently sitting at 0.19. The last time we were sitting there, yeah, that was here basically, and that was in the run-up of like 27K until the all-time high. But in the cycle before that, we were here, and this was in the last like real accumulation phase during in the bull market before it really took off in October 2020. Here was Bitcoin sitting at 10K, and basically at this level it was the latest point to buy, and it ran all the way up to 60K when retail was finally getting into it. Now this tweet is hitting the nail on the head. If you ask me, it's precisely these moments when the market is grinding sideways and there hasn't been a fun move in months. When people start to tune out, views and vibes, they drop. It's the right time now that you can slam the gas pedal, lock in, and make decisions that will change your life. And Virtual Bacon responded very accurate. Silence in the market is always a golden opportunity. That's exactly what it is, right? When there's a lot of greed in the market, you do not really want to be buying that. If you look, for example, the last time where we had the greed above 80, basically, that was around the top right here, right? And I'm not saying like you historically should always sell that, because that was also the case here in August when Bitcoin ran from 11K to 70K. But this is usually the higher the greed, the less you want to buy if you are in buying mode, basically. Now you can apply the Google Trends for a lot, but also if you look for NFT, it's crazy. I think there will be such a big ass NFT hype in this bull market as well. And a lot of people, if they hear that, they will be like, nah, it's dead. And that's exactly why I say that, right? Every time when somebody thinks it's dead, while it's a good product with potential future mass adoption, then I'll be like, okay, let's not fade this too soon, okay? The last time the interest for the NFT market was this low was actually, somewhere over here, and that was right before the biggest boom ever, and that was the best buying opportunity ever. Now if we look for altcoins, for example, altcoins probably altcoins also not looking great, right? It was sitting at a pretty big spike here. And that's until March 2024. Now, if we go to the altcoin market and we look at March 2024, then you'll see that that's exactly at the top, right? So it's just what it is. Whenever the market is hot and the prices are high, people are looking at it, right? But that's not the time to buy. That's the time to sell, because then otherwise you're buying the tops, right? Now, if we look at it again, it is coming down pretty hard. It's now sitting at 13. The last time it was there, it was basically exactly this level before it had that big spike up, right? And that was in end of January, beginning of February this year, which is here. Right? And exactly that level for the altcoin market after that was followed by a basically 2x overall, right? Overall. And again, if this thing does a 2x, your altcoin back can do a, I don't know, 3, 4, 5x. This is the top 125, excluding the top 10, but everything outside of the top 125 or lower, yeah, that can move more than the higher caps in there. So it looks like it is time right now. You can also see that the volume for Bitcoin is just decreasing like crazy. It dropped 6x the volume on Bitcoin, and still it is holding up pretty well. So that kind of tells me that once the volume starts to kick back into the market, yeah, Bitcoin is going to kick off and altcoins could really run hard. So if anything, it looks like the best place to get involved if you are not involved enough or not at all already. If you look at the technicals, I mean, the bull market support band was holding us up right here perfectly. And the bull market support band is just kind of known for dragging Bitcoin up into the bull market. As long as we bounce there, it is actually so far always a beautiful outcome. And every time we do get there, people are scared because it's usually after a 20-30% drop, right? If I just take one random drop in this market right here, this was a drop of 32%. Like, that's not even what we have seen so far. And people are already feeling like, maybe this time is going to be different. Maybe it's not going to work out, or I don't even care anymore, right? Like, man, if you're here, if you're watching this video, please like it and let me know down below. Just tell me, I'm here, and you're gonna make it, man. It's that easy. Sometimes we should not overcomplicate things, and we should just look at the fact like, hey, I'm here, I'm not giving up, I have faith in this market, I'm putting my money in, I'm putting my experience, my time, and it's coming back to me. And that's all you need. You don't need to be a TA master or know everything about the macro. Just be here, have patience, and sell whenever this shit is like high. That's enough. Don't make it harder than it is. So if you are a regular viewer of this channel, you know how my strategy works, right? How I'm making most money, and that's by investing in IDOs, ICOs, private sales, seed sales, being early in the market. I mean, the Knuckle AI, right? You could have bought this for like 3 cents. It's now basically, well, a tenth of a 3 cent, whatever. It's sitting 10x from there, right? And that in a matter of 5 weeks. Free bank, completely mooned. Jewel, Gain GPT, right? Completely mooned. Chain GPT was also new, completely mooned. These are the opportunities, and this is nothing yet. This is absolutely nothing, and we already see more than 10x's all over the market in a matter of like a day. So if you agree with me and feel like, yeah, private sales, etc., are the best opportunities, but I cannot afford that extreme high launchpad tier, or the allocations are just too small, check our Patreon down below. Just for the FOMO community already you can get in, and we give away thousands of dollars to allocations, and the projects are top-notch. I'm talking about Cocody, Evermoon, Havens Compass, the top-notch projects out there, Meta Exceed, Play Ember, and so on and so on. This is, in my opinion, the most obvious opportunity, and you will be like ridiculous if you don't take it. Not necessarily through the Patreon, of course, but any private seed sale is the life hack at the moment. I can't stress this enough. I mean, you're automatically buying the low, right? You're buying the low. And in a bull market, especially in an alt season, which is yet very much to come, these things usually do pretty well. Let me put it like that. I just want to be there, and I want you to be there as well with me. Not that anybody cares right now, but yeah. And what's just, funny, or I don't know if that's the right word, but we're now sitting around 60K, right? 63, 60, whatever it might be at the moment you're watching. And this is the interest in Bitcoin right now. It's just declining. But in the last bull market, when we were approaching 60K, 70K, whatever the all-time high, this was the interest. So that's really bullish to me. I mean, here we needed a lot of retail interest to get to 60K. And here nobody gives a fuck. And we just sitting at 60K like, all right, chilling, waiting for the retail to come in so we can push towards 80 or 100, whatever. Like, that says that it's only a matter of time before it's really going to explode, right? And don't underestimate what altcoins especially can do. I mean, if you understand the 4-year cycle, then time-wise, we are here, right? It's now May 2024, so 4 years ago, it's May 2020. Congratulations on understanding that, I guess. And that's here, right? That was here. What happened in this period? Well, you have to put it in perspective, I think. I can show you what happened after that, but you first have to feel how it was here, right? So people came in here, got wrecked, or they got in right here, right, at a good price. I don't know where you got in, let me know. But they look mostly back at this market and be like, yeah, I missed everything. I completely missed the one and only opportunity in the altcoin market, right? And they got in here somewhere, maybe July 2018 or whatever. And they basically had to wait all the way till, June, July 2020. So for 2 years, to be at the exact same point as where they got in. And in the meantime, they saw their portfolio got wrecked, and they saw themselves make a lot of money, and wrecked again, a lot of money, and fucking wrecked again, and then make a lot of money. And at a certain point, they ended up at the same exact place, right? It was such a roller coaster, but from A to Z, nothing actually happened. That's mentally exhausting. And that's kind of where people are right now as well, right? They maybe got in over here, and they got wrecked, right? And they made money, wrecked, made money, wrecked, made money, and now maybe a little wrecked again, right? And we are now also at the same place as where we were exactly 2 years ago. Exactly the same. April, May 2020, we were sitting here and now we're sitting here again, right? So for a lot of people, unless they bought the bottom, but for a lot of people, nothing really happened, right? And the people here thought like, yeah, this is never like going to work out. Like people here were exhausted in May 2020. And you can see it here as well in the interest. If you look back to May 2020, every now and then there was a little interest peak and overall it just went off and it was sitting at low levels as well. Nobody was paying attention to crypto anymore. Nobody gave a fuck. Everybody already kind of admitted like, you know, okay, whatever, I'm wrecked. Move on. I may leave some money in it, but I don't care anymore, right? This is not gonna work out. And then finally, from that point, what happened? Well, we had the Bitcoin halving somewhere around here. It took a little while, and then altcoins finally started to pick up again around August. They started to make new highs. You can see that in August there was a little spike again right here, but again until like October, everybody felt like, yeah, you know what, might look interesting, but fuck that. And that's understandable. As from August until October, the market kind of cooled off again. But these people that weren't here again, they got wrecked. Like this was the place to get wrecked. This was the place where people should have interest, because look what the market did over there. This is where it finally got out of that last, you know, resistance and went into a complete bull market. And from the place in May, kind of where we are right now, the altcoin market in general did a 23x. On general, from May 2020 until the top of the bull market. But again, that's on general, right? Like that's like there were so many extreme exceptions. And yeah, I can't help but say that it's exactly what we are right now as well. Dogecoin, 30,000%. It outperformed the overall market with like more than a 10x. So this did like a more than a 300x. At that point, yeah, like if you were in this camp, fuck, RIP to you, I guess, right? It's like you missed out so hard there. Completely effed up. Matic did a 170x in that period. Veracity did like a 35x. And the worst thing is that Veracity, even if you take it from this bottom right here, it first had to go down with like 70%. And then had that crazy move up. So if you take it from the complete bottom to the top, it did 100x, right? So the point is though that these things could happen again, where you now buy an altcoin and you get completely wrecked and you feel like, oh, it's over. Don't panic sell too soon, because it could still happen that it moves like, for example, Veracity did in the last cycle. So don't fade the market because things look boring. We had the halving. Like I said, people notice that, hey, it's the halving, nothing happened, never mind, right? I thought it was going up. Yeah, Bitcoin always goes up so far after the halving, and by a lot, but not directly after it. If you look at the ROI after Bitcoin's halving and you take all these other cycles, so the cycle in 2013, 17, 21, etc., we now have, this is the green line, this little thing over here, right? If you look at this, we are basically just following what we are usually doing, right? We have the halving, starts here, and then we just go sideways for a pretty long time, and then it finally starts to go up. In the first cycle, we started to go up after like 50 days or so. We really took off. The last cycle was a little more the orange one. It's a little more linear. It was like flat for a long time basically, and it took off after 160 days. And with the red line, it was slowly going up, slowly up, slowly up, slowly up, slowly up. But at the first couple of days, you can just see that nothing happened. So we are now sitting at day 20 after the halving at the moment of recording. If we do not compare to the first cycle, as I don't think that the first cycle is that relevant to measure by, then you can see that basically, at least if you take a look at the last two halvings, we just go sideways for at least 70 days. At least 70 days. But you could make the case that even around 120 days we are still going sideways. That could mean another 100 days from now, which is 3 months. Would make sense. Would make sense. Why do I say that? Well, if you look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin was going pretty high, pretty fast, right? Everybody was talking about the fact that this time was different because we saw a new all-time high before the halving. Yeah, or it's just that Bitcoin was running a little bit too hard and now it needs some time to cool off. And that could mean that we just go down maybe a little sideways to maybe August, maybe just a boring summer, right? And have the whole fear and greed and the interest, let it reset, let retail step out, the retail that's still here at least, right? Let everything cool off, maybe find some cycle lows, right? And then by the end of the year, give us that big leg up. I mean, we have around like 5-6 months to go until the end of the year, which is 180 days basically, right? Yeah, if you take a look at 150, 180 days, that's usually where, you know, Bitcoin after the halving really starts to pick up. So even if we have the most boring and depressing summer we can imagine, that would be like very average for Bitcoin. That would line up exactly with what we have seen so far. If you expect us, this green line, to just now go up, then you should worry about the fact that we are really moving too fast and that we can top out and crash anytime as well. And as long as we are not just going sideways, it's nice because it stays predictable. Then we can just stick to the 4-year cycle. Right? Hey, it's doing what it's always doing. So top probably end of 2025. But the market needs to make people believe that that's not the case, that this time is different again, because there are no winners if other people are not getting wrecked. So the market first needs to wreck people. So give us a boring summer. Let people get wrecked, right? And then just do what you always do, pretty Bitcoin, and let an alt season follow at the end of the year. Give us time to prepare. And only the people that believe in this are the ones that are going to get rewarded, not the people that are not allocating anymore because they stop believing, and not pretending to stop believing, but actually stop believing. Or the people that are going to panic sell. These are not the people that are going to make it. And I hope you are not in that camp. Therefore, I'm not going anywhere. I'm saying pretty convinced this time is not going to be different. There will be a major bull run for altcoins. Bitcoin will go far over 100K. And I think that the end of this year is going to be super interesting. And maybe the rest of this summer, yeah, not so much. That's good. DCA, prepare, read, learn, build. There's always something to do in the meantime. And in the meantime, like I said, you can join these private sales, because if you allocate now and get your tokens vested at the top of the bull market, that's the dream, right? So again, if you like the video, subscribe to the channel. I don't know when I'm doing that. Turn the bell notification on. Let me know what you think about this theory, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.